Hey, this is Ramon, channel is Alpha 4, and this is me defending my defense of atheism because I got pretty sidetracked while I was making that video. Truth is, somebody walked in the middle of me filming, and I got kind of gun shy, and I completely lost my train of thought, and I couldn't even remember the word atheism, and I had to cut out a good chunk in the middle, and when I jumped back in, I said some rambly shit. I just went off track and just lost my train of thought. So let me clear it up now, real quick. There are two forms of atheism, in my point of view. One a low point of view and one a high atheism. And the low atheism is a type of atheism that I think needs to end, which is atheism that is nothing more than faith. When you're looking at science as a type of faith, when you don't have any understanding and you haven't thought it out, and your atheism isn't an acceptance of science, but a non-acceptance of faith, a rebellion against faith that is just you being angry at God. That's not real atheism, and that's a very low form of atheism, and I think it's not very lasting, and also it has ill effects. What I was trying to say at the end was that there is a high form of atheism that should be encouraged. My defense of that as a religious person is free will and free choice, both things that as a Catholic I highly believe. And I know that there are some other denominations that don't believe in free will and free choice. I'm not one of those denominations. The Bible gives people the right to choose not to believe. If they choose not to believe from a well-informed position, then we should respect them enough to allow them their choice and to let it be. We shouldn't force people. We should let them come willingly. It should always be their choice to believe or not to believe. Have them be well-informed, but let their decision stand. And if they just choose differently later, then we welcome them in. If someone doesn't believe in God, it's just a weird thing to do to someone to say like, well, you have to believe in something that you don't believe in, then that faith isn't real anyway. If they're coming to you from a lack of belief, then that's no different than them choosing to believe in science without studying. And I think atheism that comes from rationality, that comes from study, and from coming to a conclusion, from self-examination and from study of facts. And if you decide the facts tell you that you don't believe, then that atheism should be upheld and should be respected. In the same way that if you're a religious person and you believe after self-study and self-reflection and reflection on God, then yeah, that should be respected. So my defense of atheism got a little off track last time, and I just wanted to make it very clear that that last 2 minutes, even though I liked the point I made there, and that's why I left that point in, that wasn't the point of the video. The point of the video was the first half, which is religious people need to stop attacking atheists, saying that atheists are secret believers because they believe in science. That's crazy. Atheism from ignorance isn't a good form of atheism. But well-informed atheism is a different type of atheism, and it's not just a false belief. In the same way, faith, blind faith, without grace and without works isn't real faith at all. Just as for someone to have faith, they should actually believe, otherwise, what's the point of them going to church? In that same sense, you don't want to make an atheist who doesn't believe pretend to believe. And you shouldn't try to force that kind of issue. On the other hand, someone who doesn't know anything and is just being angry and rebellious, that's not a well-formed version of atheism. The people who go to science and believe in science are not real atheists. They think they're atheists, but they don't have any founding. They're just choosing one set of ideas over another set of ideas. Well-founded, well-researched, self-analyzed, know thyself atheism is not that kind of atheism. That's a real, that's more than just a system of belief. That's a system of unbelief. They've chosen material fact over theology and ethereal philosophy. And we have to respect that because as believers, if you're of my faith, We believe in free will and free choice. And if they choose not to believe, then we should respect that. Anyway, that's it. So I'm just clearing that up. Peace.